Spoiler warning for Persona 5 Royal. You've been warned. Though not for Strikers or the other P5 games, I haven't played those. Ladies and gentlemen, having played Persona 5 Royal, I kinda feel like the Phantom Thieves are a cult, hear me out. Dictionary.com defines a cult as, 1, a particular system of religious worship, especially with reference to its rites and ceremonies. And, 2, an instance of great veneration of a person, ideal, or thing, especially as manifested by a body of admirers. Now in case that is a bit confusing, a better way to look at this is to look at common characteristics of groups that are considered cults and see which of these characteristics the Phantom Thieves have and don't have. After which, feel free to make your own call, alright? There are 14 possible points. I'll award 1 point for a yes. Half a point for maybe/complicated and 0 for no. Anyway, let's begin. According to the International Cultic Studies Association, common characteristics for groups that could be considered cults include: 1. The group is focused on a living leader to whom members seem to display excessively zealous, unquestioning commitment. This is tough, since this is a game and Joker is the player character, but Joker is the living leader to whom the Phantom Thieves would do anything for. Even literally taking shots for him when their social ranks are maxed. Because of that, I'm going to say yes, this condition is true for the Phantom Thieves. 1 point added. 2. The group is preoccupied with bringing in new members. No. As many people have pointed out, if Joker and the Phantom Thieves were really preoccupied with bringing in new members, they had all these possibilities from confidants like Mishima all the way to Hifumi. Even the adults like Sei or Sojiro, who honestly kinda function as honorary members by the end of the game. So in this case, I can safely say no, they aren't worried about bringing in any new members. 0 points added. 3. The group is preoccupied with making money. No again. Even though the group has thieves in the title, they care surprisingly little about money. Each person manages their own finances. And they don't have that much as high school students, hence their worries when faced with Kanashiro's deadline. The only exception is, as the player character you can amass a large amount of yen from grinding. In fact, here's an image from the user JinGemChammerfist on Reddit, showing them managing to acquire $9,999,999 yen, the max amount allowed in the game, as Joker. All in one school year, incredible. 0 points added. 4. Questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged or even punished. No-ish? I don't think so. This is tough. On one hand, Joker, as well as the others, would never punish or discourage the others from speaking their minds. On the other hand, this relates to the first point, I don't really see most members outright disagree with Joker, they are in the same group because they share similar values and so usually end up agreeing on what to do. In fact, the Phantom Thieves established a rule that going into a palace has to be a unanimous decision, meaning that even one person's doubt or dissent could stop them entirely, and they ended up going into all the palaces anyway so. For this, I'm awarding half a point. 5. Mind-numbing techniques, such as meditation, chanting, speaking in tongues, denunciation sessions, debilitating work routines, are used to suppress doubts about the group and its leaders. No, there are definitely some things that occur in the metaverse that would be strange to a non-initiated person to the Phantom Thieves, but nothing I would call mind-numbing. 0 points added. 6. The leadership dictates sometimes in great detail how members should think, act, and feel. I don't think so no I guess. That's not to say that there aren't a lot of things that all the members seem to believe, think, and feel, in unison, but it isn't because of anything that Joker or the Phantom Thieves organization as a whole has explicitly dictated that they must, again as mentioned in point 4, it's more the group only have people that join that genuinely already believe in the Phantom Thieves and their goals, so there is no need for this type of dictation. Anyway, 0 points added. 7. The group is elitist, claiming a special, exalted status for itself, its leaders, and members. For example, the leader is considered the messiah or an avatar, the group and/or the leader has a special mission to save humanity. I'd argue, not intentionally, but yes 100%. Joker is definitely considered special by his fellow thieves at least to the point of being appointed leader. As for their special status, it's their persona powers that distinguish them from an everyday person in the street. Part of the Phantom Thieves' justifications for jumping into palaces and their existence is their powers in the first place. As long as they have powers and the meta-nav app by which they can see palaces, they feel like they have a duty to use said powers. Compare them to Akechi. Both believe that with great power comes great responsibility, elevating them in a sense, but the difference is what their responsibility is to do with said persona powers. As for the special mission, they think they have to save humanity. In fact, if you play through the game, you quite literally save Japan if not humanity as a whole, depending on how far the God of Control's domain might have been had the Phantom Thieves not intervened. Anyway, 1 point added. 8. The group has a polarized us versus them mentality, which causes conflict with the wider society. Yes. Sidebar, you guys know, the more I go through this, the more I start to think that if the Phantom Thieves are a cult, they manage to do it without intending it, which is actually pretty cool. Wonder if that's happened before in the real world. Anyway, sidebar ended. I'm saying that yes, though, not intentionally. In fact, this is one of the big themes of the game, rebellion and revolution, overthrowing older systems that have become corrupt or harmful to the people. In the case of the Holy Grail, it meant them literally fighting against the embodiment of the greater society's wishes. Looking back at all those examples of the things members of the Phantom Thieves have said, all those, my S and the Phantom Thieves have definitely created an us versus them mentality against society, at the very least until all palaces are destroyed. 1 point added. 9. The group's leader is not accountable to any authorities, as are, for example, military commanders and ministers, priests, monks, and rabbis of mainstream denominations. Yes, ish. I'd argue the only real people who have any claims of authority over the Phantom Thieves would be Igor or Lavenza in Joker's regard. But the whole point with Igor and the false god kinda demonstrated that Igor was always more of a guide for Joker and the Phantom Thieves, someone to point the way. If Igor was holding them accountable to do something they deemed wrong, the Phantom Thieves would not follow through. At the end of the day, the Phantom Thieves are accountable first and foremost to their own sense of justice. 1 point added. 10. The group teaches or implies that its supposedly exalted ends justify means that members would have considered unethical before joining the group, for example, collecting money for bogus charities. No. I mean, once again, as pointed out in point 5, people who haven't been in the Phantom Thieves or in the metaverse might definitely find what they are doing, that is the means they have been using, as strange, but not necessarily unethical. This does get into the ethics of their means, which is a whole interesting concept philosophically that I think I'll cover in another video, but anyway, the Phantom Thieves can sidestep that because people only join the Phantom Thieves because they believe what the Phantom Thieves are doing, the means they are using, are right and just. 0 points added. 11. The leadership induces guilt feelings in members in order to control them. No-ish, I'm leaning towards more no than maybe. Here's why. Joker never tries to induce feelings of guilt in the other Phantom Thieves. That being said, there are definitely times where they do feel guilty after talking with him, like when talking with him helped them realize they were enjoying Maruki's reality that they had wished for. In that case though, was guilt used as a means of control? I mean, you could argue it helped sway them to Joker POV about the reality, but I think it was more that Joker didn't ease their guilt like he might do in a normal situation and stood back and allowed them to have a wake-up call to what their reality truly was. 0 points added. 12. Members' subservience to the group causes them to cut ties with family and friends, and to give up personal goals and activities that were of interest before joining the group. No. You're still more than welcome to spend time with previous friends or family members. That being said, on the point of family members, the Phantom Thieves all do share either a loss of parents or distant parents, at least when they first started. But you could argue that that is what draws people to the Phantom Thieves, to share with other people who they can sympathize with, and not the other way around, which would be the Phantom Thieves are seeking people out from those backgrounds, which I would argue would be more cult-like. 0 points added. 13. Members are expected to devote inordinate amounts of time to the group. Yes, I guess. To Joker and the Phantom Thieves they are spending tons of time compared to the other parts of their lives for this cause. This is justified, in their eyes, however, because they believe that, and logistically because they often have a deadline that they have to beat a palace by. 1 point added. 14. Members are encouraged or required to live and or socialize only with other group members. No, you can talk to other people, at the end of the day, they still are normalish high school students. The big thing with the Phantom Thieves was mainly just the secrecy, ensuring that no one, loud Ruji, I'm looking at you, spilled the beans about who was in the Phantom Thieves. 0 points added. Extempers, that brings us to a grand total of 1, 2, 3 carry the 1. 5.5 points out of 14 points, or about 39%. Well. So what did we learn today then? 1. Every group that has multiple members will probably have a little bit on the cult scale. So take all this with a grain of salt. 2. There are definitely some cult-like elements in the Phantom Thieves, and some definitely not. So go fish. 3. Lastly, I really enjoy P5R and the Phantom Thieves, so I mean this, all in good fun. By all means, in the comments, please let me know if you think I was wrong or right to award specific points to the Thieves. Do you think they are a cult? Yes. No. I'm always open to more feedback. Anyway, I'll be working on that ethics in the Phantom Thieves series that will hopefully come out later. Bye, extempers. Man, I really need an ending catchphrase.